now welcome to the ring, comedians picking fights.
Hello and welcome to Comedians Picking Fights. My name is Bryan O'Gorman. This is my friend Tyler Morrison. This is a podcast where two comedians who aren't good at fighting make fun of fighters and then tell you who's going to win fights. Hello, Tyler.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh man, just making awkward intros. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Just keeping it casual.
I like it. I like your sweater. You look like a
Thank
hockey
you.
dad who's about to get in a fight in the parking lot.
That's the best when you see a hockey dad who's dressed like exactly like this, getting worked up, and it's like, oh, this guy's gonna hit Mach 5.
He's got the sweater and like it's usually like a nice set of jeans, a clean set of jeans, and then some running shoes that have been around the block a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just in it for the fun. We're in it for the kids, and someone's always got to spoil it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's about them. You know what I mean? Some of the best fights on earth happen in minor hockey stands, don't they?
Oh my God, there was one of my favorite ones. There was like I went penalty free all season. I was a goalie, and my coaches, they saw me I was getting in fights all the time the year before, and they're like, listen, we can't have our goalie getting in fights. You got to just let your teammates, we get some tough guys, let them do the heavy lifting. And so I went penalty free all year. And then there was like a game where we had like a line brawl happening, but they had an extra attacker on. So they had one other guy, and one of my buddies was fighting this guy, and the extra player from their team was going to come in and sucker my teammate. So I went out and punched him in the face with the blocker. All this shit happens. Fights start breaking out in the stands. Well, in the lobby, there's this girl is like these two chicks got into a fight, and there's like parents breaking it up. And one of like our captain of the team, his dad is not a big guy. He was like, he'd be about like 5'4". He's like a little Joe Pesci type dude, and maybe 5'5". Just a little guy. And this huge dude, the dad of this one girl, comes in because they're breaking up the fight, and he comes in to like sucker my friend's dad, and my friend's dad throws a Batman punch, just boom, just breaks the guy's nose.
Classic.
Drops to his knees in the lobby. It was a whole ordeal. It was so good.
I tell you, man, minor hockey is better than UFC. These fights that we're picking today, these UFC 279 fights, do not even compare to minor hockey dad brawls in the 90s. It was a thing of beauty. Honestly, it was what the UFC was. That's why I like watching the UFC now, because it's just the good part of hockey from the 90s, right? Like hockey was like, oh, there's a game that people played, and then there was fighting, and you go fight, and you'd tell your whole family, and they would run in, and then you would all bond over people having bare knuckle boxing matches on skates. It's very fun and Canadian. But yeah, man, absolutely. That's another great story. From check out Tyler's other podcast, Fight Stories, of which this is a satellite podcast. Pretty soon Tyler's gonna start his own backyard boxing league.
I got a good backyard for that.
Yeah, you could rival that street beef shit. That stuff's hilarious. You ever watch it?
Get all the neighborhood kids on it.
Oh hell yeah, man! Oh, the neighborhood kids, yeah. Just do it all like kickboxer style too. Like make them like put like broken glass on their fists.
Yeah, you guys like crafts?
Yeah. Fuck, man. Hey, all right. So we're here to pick these fights. We're gonna pick the main card.
Before we go though, we got to talk. Before we go into it, let's talk about what just went down. Like, there's a possibility that these fights aren't even happening. I think that they're gonna go through. But they had to cancel the press conference.
There was a kerfuffle before the press conference. What happened again?
So Ariel Helwani was just talking about it. He was kind of the guy that was breaking the news, I believe. I mean, he's right on the spot, man. That guy's great. So he was talking about there was a lot of people around, and it was Kevin Holland got into it with Chimaev with his team, and there was a lot of
water bottles got thrown. They said that the Diaz camp was also there, and water bottles were thrown. These guys will throw a water bottle at the drop of a hat. I don't know if you remember the Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz fight, but water bottles were being thrown all over the good goddamn. I'm telling you, man, these guys are gangster. You know what I mean? Like real gangsters. And some people who use a gun, sure, use a gun. I guess that's tough. A real man fights with a water bottle.
That's
a
right.
Water bottle. You kill a guy with a water bottle, that's fucking you own everyone in prison.
They're partnered with Nestle, the worst people on the planet, the most dangerous people to the ecosystem.
Yeah. Right. Oh man. Yeah, holy crap. So hopefully these fights actually happen. I think they still will.
I think they will. It built a lot of hype though. There was like 57 dudes in Diaz's camp. Like
57. Yeah, man.
Entourage.
Everywhere this guy goes is like a fucking hip hop song. You know what I mean? He's just got like a whole crew everywhere he goes. And this is his last fight under contract with the UFC. So I don't know, man. He might actually kill a guy with a water bottle. He might go out on top. I mean, he's that kind of ruthless dude, man. That kind of old school. I love how, the last fight he did too against Leon Edwards, who just knocked out the pound for pound best fighter on planet Earth.
He went the distance, man. He almost pulled it off.
He almost beat him. And then honestly, if that fight, Diaz said after too, he's like, if that was in the street, I would have won that. Which is kind of true, because at the end of the fight, like he got the best of the 5th round, Like when they walked away, Nate was doing better than Edwards
Leon
was. So yeah. So I don't know, man. I think a bet to look out for on these two full-breasted men behind me is the over-under. Is right now it's the round and a half. So 1.5 rounds. It's like something like plus 140 to go over a round and a half. I think Khamzat's going to beat the shit out of Nate, excuse me. I think he's going to kick the shit out of him. But I do not think he's, I think he's definitely going over a round and a half. I think he might go the distance. I think Nate Diaz might get through this. If Gabriel Burns went the distance with this guy, I think Diaz goes the distance with him too.
Yeah, the thing is, Diaz is his chances go up the later the fight goes. If he gets past, they get into round 3, that's where he like starts getting more of a chance. He's always had great cardio. He said he stopped training before this one. He doesn't seem like his heart is in it, unfortunately, and the way that he's kind of, it seems like UFC's feeding him to the wolves in this one, and I would love to see an upset. Obviously, I mean, like, who doesn't like Diaz? He's great for the sport, and he's put in his time, and he deserves maybe a better send off. Well,
they asked Dana White about that, and Dana basically said it's who he wanted. Now, the thing behind that is like, yeah, but this guy could also be so CTE'd up that he's not making the best decisions. But let's be realistic. This guy's a fucking cage fighter. He's never been making good decisions from the moment it came out.
Yeah.
It's what he does. He fights. So if you don't put him up in this promotion, they'll put him up in another promotion. And this is who he wanted on his way out. So I think
he wanted him. I don't think so. He was like talking.
No, he did, man. He did. This is what Dana White said, anyways, and that's what Nate Diaz said.
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I could totally be wrong. I just remember it being that Diaz was kind of putting this one off, not because he was like afraid of him. He just thought that it was like, who the fuck's this guy? I should be fighting someone bigger. Now,
right.
while that kind of back and forth's been going on, this guy has been rising up, and he's been running his mouth big time.
He'll fight anybody. That crazy voice, brother, I'll kill you, brother. Oh, it's so creepy.
Well, he looks like that fucking Amish dude that fucking caught the baseball in the Blue Jays Kansas City Royals series that fucked over the Jays. Old neck beard there.
Oh yeah.
I'll never forgive him. I see my enemy in him.
Yeah, he's a mean-looking motherfucker. The lip. Nobody has addressed the lip really. I want to know the history behind what happened to his lip. Was it a pussy-eating accident? Was he, you know what I mean? Was he a punk in the 90s? He got it ripped out. I think it might be cleft, or it might just be like poorly reconstructed. I don't know. Or,
or a billy goat gave him a fucking little kiss.
That's the third option for sure.
That's
He was drunk at a petting zoo and he tried to kiss a billy goat, and we all know how that goes. You know, you can tap out a lot of people, but billy goat will take your lip.
where is he from, by the way? Was
Dagestan.
Dagestan. Well, out of all
Let me
the
double
stands,
check.
that's probably my favorite one.
Holy guacamole! There's a lot of people that coming out of that stand, isn't there? What a stand! You know what? Let me correct myself. I forgot. He was raised in Sweden. Yeah,
Oh, I
but he's
take it
from
all back. Diaz is gonna kill him.
Chechnya. He's from Chechnya. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Let's see what Nate did in his last 5 fights. He lost to Leon, right? Remember that? Jorge Masvidal before that. Before that, he beat Pettis. Before that, he lost to McGregor. And before that, he beat McGregor. So
He's one of those guys who can pull it out, but I don't know, man.
Well, just looking at this is like, man, he's fighting the best in the world for the last 6
Chimaev's
fights.
on the way
too.
up, man. He's on the way up. He's a force.
Oh, make no mistake, Chimaev is going to win this fight, and it's going to. Do you know what the odds for this are? Nate Diaz is a plus 800 underdog. Fucking Chimaev's sitting at minus 1,200 right now. You got to bet $120 to get fucking 10 back. I don't even know the math on that. It's like you got to mortgage your house to get $10 back on a bet.
That's
if you
wild.
bet on Chimaev. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're picking, go for that over under, or I don't know, maybe method of victory, something to the effect of like, I think they go the distance. I think that might pay out. But what do you think, Tyler? How do you think Chimaev wins this?
Oh my God. He's definitely taking him to the ground and just gonna work him. Like I don't know how long. I feel like he think he can take him in 3.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think so.
Maybe
think
2.
under 3. Yeah, I
Probably
think it's
2.
definitely going. I think it's going longer than people think. I think in this first round knockout bullshit. I don't think so.
I don't think he's knocking
so.
him out. I think if he gets him, it'll be like because he really wears him down on the ground.
Yeah, let's see what the odds are for method of victory. I think. Oh man, they got so many ways to bet on here. This is really not good.
Chimaev's just so aggressive. Like that's the thing. He's not someone who's going to stand back and parry with you. You know what I mean?
The odds are saying that for him to win by KO or TKO, that's minus 150 favorite. So the odds are saying that he's going to knock him out. I don't think that's accurate.
I don't see Diaz getting like actually knocked out.
I don't think he gets submitted, but if he goes out from a choke, that's technically a KO or a TKO.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I don't see him getting hit with like a flush bomb and being on Queer Street. I could see it, being like just they got to stop it because he's taking too much damage. But
exactly, or
this
like
guy's not a pussy, man. He's one of the fucking toughest of all time.
No, he's going out on his shield, dude. Like
That's
if he gets some kind of choke on him, he'll go out. I don't think he's tapping. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, man. So that's the haps. These two again, full figured fellas back here. I think, definitely.
I think we see a Stockton slap.
Oh yeah, he's gonna do some crazy shit. I think this might be a lot like when Luke Rockhold was like rubbing his blood all over Paulo Costa. I think something weird like that's gonna happen. I wouldn't put it past Nate Diaz to maybe pull out his dick or start smoking weed in the fucking ring, something crazy like that. Shit's gonna go down, for sure. Because it's his last thing. What can they do? And he's
I heard people speculating that he's, he might just come down and just tap and just not tap from being submitted, but just as a fuck you to Dana, because Dana's trying to send him out like this.
Really? Well,
I feel like this was not a fight that Diaz wanted to do, and he was kind of forced into it, and that's why he's very disgruntled with
man, you got to check some of these. I think he is disgruntled with them, but the recent stuff, like today I was watching interviews, they're both being kind of cordial with each other and kind of making fun of each other. but yeah, I think at the end of the day, they've made each other a lot of money, and I think there's definitely some respect. But we'll see. We'll see. You never know, because
I just hope he doesn't get fucking like hurt too bad. You know what I mean? Like I want him, if this is his last fight, I want him to be able to have success outside of UFC in his next career. It sounds like he's starting his own fight promotion.
oh yeah,
Which
yeah,
will be interesting. I just, you just see a guy who's put in this much time into the sport and brought so much entertainment. You want him to do well in his last fight. You want it to be competitive. The guy's a warrior, and I think he'll put up a fight. He always
yeah.
does.
I mean, yeah. Any damage, brain damage he's got, you know what I mean? Like, this will definitely add a little bit to it, but I mean, it's already pretty far down the line. I think you're right. Like, I'd like to see him do well and stuff. I'm not so
I'm
scared
putting
for him.
100 on Diaz, by the way.
Jesus, that's all right. Well, let's see what that pays out to.
Yeah, I mean, just
I think it's 800.
I'm that type of degenerate.
$900 back, so you 800 profit.
That's a good day.
I don't, man. There's going to be so many people losing money like that tomorrow.
Drake is going down.
Drake for sure. Drake, you can just like do the opposite of everything Drake does, and you'll be a million.
Yeah, that's really it. That's actually the only reason why I think that I'm not going to do that. It's because I saw Drake bet.
Did he bet on Diaz?
He bet on Diaz and Tony.
Oh my god.
And like a lot of money.
Well, let's move on to that fight. The next one, Li Jingliang versus Tony Ferguson, because actually that's an underdog on this whole card. I think that's the underdog I might take.
That's what I would say too. I feel the exact same way.
Tony's a plus 235 underdog on this right now, meaning if you bet 100 on him, you get 335 back, profit of $235. I don't know. Li Jingliang, we forget. Okay, this is also at welterweight. So he's fighting at 170, right?
So Tony's going up.
Tony's going up, and also so a lot of people say, a bunch of his last fights he got knocked out. Yeah, he's also getting older, and for him to make 155 was getting more and more difficult for him. And
those weight cuts are tough.
When you're dehydrated like that, real easy to get knocked out, man, especially with the kind of guys he's fighting. And so at 170, I think this fight goes, I don't know if it goes the distance or not, but I think Tony is being underestimated here, because he's at like 14-2 at 170. He did fight a bunch of fights up there, man, and he did
Bryan,
really
I think that's
well.
why I'm always getting knocked out, eh? I'm always dehydrated, bro.
That's what it is, man.
I'm just dehydrated, dude. Someone got me an IV.
It's not my big mouth, it's these fucking beers, you know. Yeah, buddy. But I don't know, man. Li Jingliang is pretty deadly too, man. He's pretty killer. Dude, let's check his last 5 fights. Li Jingliang. I'm fucking trying to. Here we go. Oh yeah, he fought Muslim Selikov last, and then before that he fought Khamzat Chimaev. Remember, that was when Khamzat just picked him up like a little baby boy and then threw him on his.
He fucked him up, man. He fucked him up. And that's no joke. Like he's not a pussy at all, man. He's a wicked fighter. I just like Tony. The other thing that the last fight that he was in, he got dramatically knocked out with that head kick. But we got to remember, he's been fighting like the last 4 fights that he's had that he's lost have been against some of the best of the best. I mean, since Gaethje, he's been on a downward spiral. But in that span, he lost to Oliveira. He lost to what's his fucking name?
The best in the world, man. He lost to Michael Chandler, Benal Dariush, Charles Oliveira, and Justin Gaethje. And before he was on the longest winning streak in lightweight history, I say.
And he looked really good when he was fighting Oliveira too. Like he had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're talking prime time. So I mean, him going up to a natural weight class, hopefully, his chin, hopefully he's not too punchy here. Like,
ooh, that last one, you're right. That front kick to the face.
It was scary. It was like, can this guy come back from that and be the same?
Wow. That was something else, man. Did you see the picture of it where it's like when the skin is staying still, but the skull is being hit into space, and his skin is all like looks like it's sagging down from the kick. Oh man, whoever took that picture,
It's fucking
Probably bought a fucking house with that. Yeah,
it is
man.
delicious. And so he's coming back from that. That's what always, makes me take pause as a bettor.
Yeah, and that was probably the only time. Excuse me. That was probably the only time Tony's been like seriously flatlined, like in a long time. Because you look at the one before that with Dariush, that was a decision. Charles Oliveira was a decision as well. And then Gaethje, that was a stoppage from punches, but that was like he was walking around with chicken legs and all that business.
Yeah, he's just taking too much damage.
Too much damage. It's not you. Nobody's knocking this guy out. So I don't know. I'm not usually a guy who takes underdogs. I like to bet with the odds because that's the fucking good part about sports gambling. Everything in the casino is in the house's favor. At least with this shit, we can bet in the favor of the person who's probably going to win. But I don't know, man. I think they're really misreading Tony here. I'm going to bet on Tony on this one. Tony Ferguson for the win. What do you think, Morrison?
Yeah, I think Tony's the underdog to take on this card. I mean, I was joking about the Diaz thing, but I mean, maybe I'll get sloppy and
man, I think man, if I had $100 to just throw at a bet, why the fuck not?
Well, the odds are wild, right? Sometimes,
but the reason but the odds are like
take a degenerate pick. But I think Tony is like, if you're being responsible and you're
responsible degenerate.
That's responsible degenerate. That's the one that I would take too.
Tony is the pick. You don't need to do a plus 800 dog, and plus 235 is plenty stupid. Okay.
And I can't pronounce the guy's name.
Li Jingliang.
Yeah, Li Jingliang is coming in off of a loss too, right?
Mm-hmm.
He lost his last fight.
Check that. No, I think he won his last fight.
Oh, he won his last one? The one before that was Chimaev, did he?
Yeah, last fight he won to Muslim Salikov, and then he lost to Chimaev before that. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, hey, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a good fight, actually. I think their styles will match up nicely.
For real. It's gonna be entertaining as hell, and they like to bang, And I mean that not just in the sexual way, but in the fact that they like to punch each other for fun too. But yeah, that's going to be a crazy fight. Lots of spinning elbows, I imagine. Tony's always putting on a show, man. He's like watching, like some guy who is like a meth head who fucking works out all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's not a meth head, but he gives that vibe of like, this guy's wild from some kind of like some part of California. You know what I mean? Like
he seems like a dude who works on like a construction crew that's done some jail time.
Yeah.
And you just like, you're working with him and you're like the new guy and you're like never comfortable 100% around the guy.
Totally. Went to the pen for 1.5 years for justifiable homicide, killed a guy with a hammer, Totally one of those guys. Never count out Tony Ferguson. All right, next one down the line is one of the guys who was involved in the backstage scuffle today. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. It's going to be a good one at welterweight. So we're again at $170. Kevin Holland is a terror. You know this dude?
Oh, I know Kevin Holland. Yeah, man. Kevin Holland's an entertaining fighter. He's definitely got the skill. It's just when we've seen it, the showboating and stuff. When he takes it seriously, he can do some amazing shit.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing. He got cocky for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, he got
humbled.
He got embarrassed there. The one fight. I forget who.
Yeah, he lost to Derek Brunson, and he lost to Marvin Vettori.
I think it was the Brunson fight that he kind of got. He looked bad. He wasn't taking it serious enough.
No, and he got blonde Brunson hard when blonde Brunson was first on the rise. When Brunson was like, "All right, I'm gonna look like Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man."
Looked like Coco Beware on the back nine of his career.
Oh, dude, it was the best. But he went on.
Meteor Man? Is that Meteor Man? Remember that movie?
I do. Man, that was a good one. Yeah, man. Holland got embarrassed by Brunson when he had that hair.
Yeah.
And Brunson did that to a lot of people then, but you're right, he just wasn't taking it serious. And then again, after that, he lost to Marvin Vettori. And then he lost in a grappling match after that. So he had 3 bad losses in a row before he came back and he fought Alex Oliveira. And he knocked him out? Or no, yeah, it was a right hook to ground strike. So he finished that fight in the second round. Looked great. And then the last one, he won with a Darce choke in the second round at a minute in the second round. So yeah, man, he's back on track. I think he was like getting cocky and like, you know, those guys when they first start when they're young and they're sort of fighting unranked fighters and they just are doofing guys. And then they get up to a guy like Brunson. It's like, yeah, you're not
showboating.
You're not playing around anymore, dude.
He's showboating, and then this other guy's there. He's packed his lunch, and he's you know.
Yeah, he did his homework. He's ready to go.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not.
Kevin Holland showing up high.
Yeah, you can't pump a Brunson like that.
No, man. Not blonde Brunson. Not today. Not ever.
No way. No way.
Yeah, man. And the guy Kevin Holland is fighting, Daniel Rodriguez.
He's pretty nasty.
He's a nasty motherfucker. He's got that cage tattooed around his neck. You know, when they get like the chain link fence tattooed around here. It's so prison yard, man. So intimidating. But isn't it weird when like, yeah, totally.
Hands off the cage.
So his last fights, oh damn. He beat Kevin Lee in his last fight, which was in 2021. He's won his last 3 fights. One of them was against Mike Perry. But let's be honest, a lot of people were beating Mike Perry when he was on his way out the UFC. That guy's fucking so fun to watch, but I think he's better in bare knuckle boxing. He just beat Michael Venom Page in bare knuckle boxing. Can you believe that? So yeah, this guy's looking actually pretty deadly, man. He's only had 1 loss in his last 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rodriguez?
This guy's only had 1 loss in his last 17 fights, man.
I kind of like
him.
Been
in the UFC for 3 years. You like him? This guy might, if Kevin Holland has his mind on Chimaev this much,
that's the
you know what I mean? That is the problem.
Because Holland, he can't be distracted. He needs to be focused. He's so talented, but he has to have his mind on his opponent. You can't, it's like when he was losing to Brunson. He's like fucking doing shit for the people in the crowd. Like, why? Like, you're losing and you're getting owned.
That's the thing, man.
So I mean, I hope he's back on, like, he's in the win column for the last couple fights. I hope he's taking shit more seriously, because this Rodriguez guy is not a fucking joke.
He is not fucking around, man. And he's on his way up. He's 35 years old. I think he's about 6 years older than Kevin. So he's got a lot more to lose. He's got a lot less time. Kevin Holland, that's what happened with Brunson. You know what I mean? Brunson was in the last part of his career. He's not fucking around. He's training his ass off. He's only got 3 or 4 more of these.
He's 35 though. He's 35.
Yeah, Daniel Rodriguez is. So I think he's probably, but he's had a lot of fights, but he's probably still got another good couple of years. But 35 is definitely towards the end of a fighter's career. So he's going to be going after Holland.
Back towards Holland. If Holland can, what are the odds on this one? Holland,
the odds are Holland is the favorite. He's minus 180 favorite. Daniel Rodriguez is a plus 155 underdog. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna take Holland. Holland's still probably gonna take this fight, but
he's really good.
I wouldn't be surprised, man, if he got clipped and it just wasn't paying attention. I could see Hamza Chimaev running down there in like a leopard print thong, being like, "Hey, brother," and then him having a full conversation with Chimaev while he's supposed to be fighting Rodriguez and getting knocked out. That's what I say is gonna happen.
Yeah,
that's probably more likely.
Yeah, this one's definitely one of the more, I would say it's a lot closer than what the other ones will end up being. But Holland has a great skill set. What's the reach on the reach advantage? Holland's got to have the reach advantage.
Holland's dick is like 8 inches, and then Rodriguez. Hold on, let me look it up here. Reach is 74 inches for Daniel Rodriguez. And for the man, Kevin Holland, it is 81 inches. So definitely Holland was there. Yeah, he's got long arms.
He's got a big wingspan.
Big devil sticks on those fucking things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's so fun to watch, though, man. I love watching that dude fight. He's just a fucking riot.
Talented individual.
Yeah, man. Let's hope he can keep it on track. So who are you picking in that one? Holland, too?
I am going to take Holland. But again, wouldn't be surprised if if Rodriguez brought the pain, because Rodriguez is fucking tough, man.
Dude, yeah. And
again, it won't be a walk in the park. It won't be a walk in the park. I don't think it's a fight where you want to be showboating.
No, definitely not. But you never know. That guy's ego might get a hold of him in the middle of the ring. You know, those lights hit you, baby. It's showtime.
I do love showboating.
You know that feeling. Tyler does the fucking Ric Flair walk on his way to the stage every time he does stand-up. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
All right, this second last fight, Irene Aldana versus Macy Chasen. Is that how you say her last name? I hope so. I've seen her fight before. She's great. Irene Aldana, the pretty heavy favorite, -200 favorite, and Macy Chasen +170 underdog. One fighting out of Guadalajara, Mexico. Irene is, and then Macy is fighting out of Dallas, Texas. Ooh, spicy. That's a beef. That's an old school beef. Texas versus Mexico.
The Battle of the Alamo.
Yeah, for real. I mean, no matter what happens, we're gonna get some good barbecue out of this fight.
Yeah,
I tell you, man. What's that?
No, it's some of these fights in the women's division have been amazing.
Yeah, they really fucking go for it. And I mean, this division as well. You know what's kind of interesting? I was watching about the ladies is that they peak later than men in the fighting. Mm-hmm. So like in the obviously like heavyweight males and stuff like that, like they can go into their 40s and stuff. The heavyweights, the strength is the last thing to go, as we all know. But with the ladies, it's very strange. Like a lot of the champions tend to be in sort of their 30s, like later 30s and stuff like that. A lot
once
of
their wombs are barren, they become calloused and hardened.
Well, yeah, and it's when their testosterone starts going up, right, and their estrogen starts going down. They start getting one of these. You know
That's probably a bad thing for me to say, but I've said so many worse things in my career that I'm okay with.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You're uncancelable, Tyler.
Yeah, you gotta have something to get canceled.
And that's not even mentioning all those kids you killed. I mean, anywho, let's move on. Yeah, man, I think
my womb is barren.
Your womb is barren. I mean, Irene Aldana, yeah, they're fighting at bantamweight, so 2-5, I guess. Yeah, she's a killer, man. Last fight she fought against Yana Kunitskaya. Her only losses are just some pretty heavy people. She lost to Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington, but those are more than 2 years ago, both those fights. And then our girl Macy, last 5, she has split decision. She lost to Raquel Pennington as well. So no matter what happens in this fight, Raquel Pennington is just going to be sitting at home, fucking rubbing her hands together, laughing the whole time. And but I don't know, man. I've seen Macy fight a couple times. She's really impressive and a lot of fun to watch. But Irene Aldana is vicious, man. Seriously hardcore. And you don't fuck with Guadalajara. I just feel like, I don't know. I think she's gonna turn her face into guacamole.
It's a harder life. It's a harder life down there than in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, depending on which part of Dallas and whether you're gay or not, but for sure.
The Buyer's Remorse Club.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I don't even know what that means.
Man. The Dallas Buyers Club. That was a great movie, huh? That was a good UFC movie, huh? Dallas Buyers Club.
I jerk off to it all the time.
Yeah, right. The one where Matthew McConaughey does a rear naked choke on a bunch of dudes, right?
Matthew McConaughey.
All right. party in your butthole every once in a while. That's what I love about UFC fighters. I get older, they stay the same age. Yes, they do. All right, we got one. Okay, let's pick these fights. I'm picking Irene Aldana. What do you think? You think of Texas or you think Mexico?
I got Irene.
Irene, come on, Irene. That's Eileen. Whatever. Anyway, she's going to beat the shit out of this chick from Dallas. That's for sure. And we'll move on to the last fight we're going to do here today on Comedians Picking Fights. Johnny Walker and Ion Cutelaba. These guys.
Johnny Walker, favorite drink. Sign me up. I'm voting for it.
I think a lot of people bet on that guy because of this.
Because
you know
of that,
what I mean?
they just have that. I guarantee that happens somewhat. You know.
Well, both these guys have only won one fight in their last 5 fights.
Oh, fun.
So this might be a like, am I still going to work for the UFC fight kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, they both. They're both maybe on the back, or like they're fighting for a spot on the roster.
Yeah,
this
man.
This could be the sleeper fight of the whole thing. Like it could be the one where there's some fireworks.
Could be. I think that I've felt that a lot of times for Johnny Walker fights, and then he ends up getting fucking flatlined. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know. He did okay in the last fight. Who did he fight last? Jamal Hill. Well, I mean, you're not beating Jamal Hill. That's for fucking sure. And he lost an overhand right to Jamal Hill in the first round. Yeah, but that's not, you know. And he lost to Nikita Krylov. He lost to Corey Anderson. Lost to Thiago Santos. He beat Ryan Spann in the last 5. Johnny Walker, so we know, is a 6'7", 205-pound Brazilian with a 82-inch reach, which is unbelievable. That guy, he trains at SBG Straight Blast Gym in Dublin, Ireland, which is where Conor McGregor was trained. And
how's he losing?
That's the thing, dude. He started losing the second he went to that bloody gym. Honestly, there's a couple guys that did okay out of that gym. You know, Conor. There was a guy from Sweden. I can't remember his fucking name right now. But yeah, no, Johnny Walker, when he went there, he started losing quite a bit. And I think the thing was he tried to change up his style and what he was kind of doing and be more flashy. So we'll see what happens there, man. But the guy he's fighting, Kutalaba's a fucking killer too. Also, what's his nickname? The Hulk. That's very original. But yeah. His last fights were, he got fucked up by Ankalaev, by Ryan Spann as well, Glover Teixeira. Yeah, man, this dude's no joke though. 6'1". He's from Moldova.
He's 6'1", and the other guy's 6'7".
Yeah, but the thing is, when you're going at 205, like they're not really 205. When Johnny Walker goes in there, he's probably 220 or something. Cutelaba is probably going to be heavier than Johnny Walker when he goes in there. He's a big Hulk motherfucker, you know. But Walker
size disadvantage.
Yeah, Walker's lean, like his lean frame at 205 is like, it works, but I think you find a lot of times when you go that far up at like once you get past like 6'3", 6'4", it really kind of, I don't know if it works. There's a strength differential there. So like John Jones was able to do it. John Jones is 6'3" or 6'4". But you get into those other guys when you, like, you know, there's never really been anybody that big. I guess, no, who was that? Stefan Struve. Remember him? He was 6'11". And that motherfucker, he kept getting knocked out over and over again. Just like a fucking telephone pole. Like, bing.
It's fun beating up a big guy if you're these dudes they love chopping down a tree.
Oh fuck yeah. At some point, I think it becomes a hindrance, but this guy's physicality, like on paper, you're like, man, this guy's gonna kill everybody, but he hasn't been doing it. So for that reason, I'm going to take Cutelaba. And also, I'm just a fan of Moldovians. You know what I mean? Best toes in the industry. You know what I mean? See a lot of people's feet in that octagon. And I tell you what, the Moldovan toes, the best.
I'll take Johnny Walker just for fun. I think he needs the win, man. He just needs it.
Both these motherfuckers need wins. But Johnny probably needs it more. He's got an Irish girlfriend now, an Irish fiance. You know that?
No, I don't.
Well, she might have fucking pumped some of the fighting spirit into him. You know what I mean?
Lit a fire.
Oh, he should light his fire under his Brazilian horse and get him moving. Come on, you bobs and weaves, you. And then if he doesn't do well, she'll fucking yell at him and tell him that Jesus is going to send him to hell.
See, that would be the
Like
worst. Losing a fight and having to hear about it from your girlfriend.
Ugh. Yeah.
Ugh.
Some of these guys that bring their kids and shit to come, like Kamaru Usman's daughter was there, saw him get knocked out, and was like crying and shit like that.
Could
like,
you imagine seeing your dad get starched? Like I couldn't.
yeah, at a pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's like traumatic.
Dude, for the rest of her life, she's gonna remember that shit probably. And the thing, he's like laying like this, like he's like going into another dimension when he did it. The only time I've ever seen anything like that was when my dad got knocked out at Walmart for calling the greeter a pussy. Don't fuck with those greeters, man. They get fucked with too much, you know?
Did you ever see your dad get in a fight?
Nah, my dad talked like he was going to fight people a lot, but he never usually did it. He was just angry and would talk like, hey, like one of those empty threat guys, you know? It'd be like, I'm gonna rip your face off, you know, lick your brain. You're never gonna do that. Shut up. Yeah, one time I almost fought a guy. He was always almost fighting guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like me, I'm always almost in a fight. I mean, I've been in fights, but lately
you got a couple under your belt.
Almost.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're over 40. You're like, I don't know. It's not the same thing when you get older. You know, like when you're younger.
So scared of jail. You're so scared. The older you get,
so afraid of jail.
The more scared of jail you get. I almost killed a guy, but I don't want to get fucked in the ass.
Yeah, right. Well, that's it. I mean, those are like serious federal charges, fighting in the street and stuff. You get caught for assault or something. That's bad news bears, man. That's why you got to do it in these rings, these gyms and stuff.
That's right. They really made it tough to handle business outside of a cage.
And then all these fucking cameras all over the place.
Fighting on the streets, that's inhumane. Do it in a cage.
Right? Where we can all watch and make money off
at least.
Yeah.
You fucking animal.
Yeah, take all your clothes off at least first, you know?
So uncivilized.
Colby Covington one time in an interview, they were like talking about what they were going to do. Are you going to jab? Are you going to move and bob and weave? He's like, let's not overcomplicate this. We're getting locked in a cage in our underwear. We're going to try to take each other's brain cells. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I've never just heard a fighter actually articulate it before.
Way to boil it down, Colby.
Yeah, attaboy. His trial is coming up. You know, they're going to trial for like when Masvidal hit him, and he actually got fucked up. Like, he got fucked up when Masvidal hit him. So like he's getting charged, and so like if he gets convicted, it could be federal pen time for Masvidal.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you know me, I don't mind a little bit of street fighting. There's a lot of yip yapping, but I mean, he had the chance and he lost. They set it up, you lost.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean,
yeah, fucking lost.
I like Masvidal better than I like Colby, but Colby is fucking better right now.
Better fighter. Yeah.
He's
not on the street though.
His wrestling
street,
so good. On the street, yeah.
On the street, Masvidal takes it every time.
I think so.
So that's our bet for that fight when that happens again. Fucking on the street, Masvidal takes it. In the ring, Covington takes it. All right, brother. This has been fun, man. I hope everyone wins a bunch of money, and I hope these two fellas put on a hell of a show. I hope nobody dies, but it's a good chance that will happen. So we'll see what's up.
And remember, we're not professional. We're not professionals here.
No idea what we're talking about.
We're casual as fuck. So if you want to take a shot at greatness, follow our picks.
Yeah, follow our picks. We're actually surprisingly doing very well. We have we're doing pretty good. The last ones that we picked, we're about half and half. So bet with us and you'll stay the same. You know what I mean? We can't promise you riches, we can promise you that
Your wife doesn't leave.
Yes, there you
That's
go.
a shitty promise, actually. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, remember, bet safe out there, guys. Wear a condom when you're placing bets. You know? All right. Thanks, Tyler, man.
Hey,
Talk to
thank you.
soon, brother.
Always a blast, man.
Fight on.